It is said that the First World War took place from 1914 to 1918, and this is an image from the First World War in which you can see women working in an explosive factory, in a factory which makes explosives. And from Wikipedia, I got this information. Since most working men were joining the military to fight in the war, many British women were required to take on the factory jobs that were traditionally held by men. And because of the exposure to, they were exposed to toxic chemicals, their skin and hair turned yellow, and these women were called Canary Girls because of the resemblance of the yellow color with that of a canary. So, what is the reason behind the skin and hair turning yellow? This is a question which arises naturally inside anyone's mind after seeing this, and at first the mind tries to evade this question by going into the scientific explanation. This one thing which is interesting, that the scientific explanation and reason are two different things. So one's mind can evade the real question by going into the scientific explanation. So one way is to to go into the scientific explanation and get an explanation and come back to the original question once again. So let's go into this question and see what's the connection. How science works, it deals with external objective reality and can explain it in terms of chemical reaction. This whole thing, the skin turning yellow and the hair turning yellow, it can be explained in terms of a chemical reaction. And the chemical reaction which is involved here is said to be that between a trinitrotoluene and melanin. TNT is an explosive and melanin is a pigment in your skin. So they can react and they can give a yellow colored product. How? Let's explore the connection between them. This is a this is a melanin molecule. Melanin molecule, it looks like a huge molecule. There are so many rings here, aromatic rings, some of them, or maybe not. What about this? Okay, not gonna go into that details, but it looks like a big molecule. And then we see this is trinitrotoluene, as the name suggests. It's a toluene molecule. So this is toluene. The benzene ring with a CH3 is called toluene, and then you have NO2 groups here. The mind once again, my mind once again wants to come back to this thing, whether this is aromatic or not. It doesn't seem like. Yeah, it doesn't seem like, because no, like in this ring also you can see there is a double bond, so two pi electrons and lone pair, and then there is no other. Like for aromaticity we need to have six loosely bound electrons, pi electrons or lone pairs, they could be in a ring, and completely conjugated ring. But even if I want to go for aromaticity from outside, then I can see, suppose from here I can start, there is conjugation with the lone pair, then there is conjugation, but then the conjugation breaks here, so that also I can't see. So it doesn't seem like an aromatic molecule. Anyways, we have melanin and we have trinitrotoluene, and they can react to produce a yellow color. How? So there is a test which is called Xanthoproteic Test, which is used to distinguish, which is used for amino acid, to test amino acids, and mostly tyrosine or amino acids with the benzene rings. So I'll explain it. Xantho means yellow. First of all, this is Xanthoproteic Test. It has to do with something to do with the color yellow, and which we will connect it with the Canary Girls. In Xanthoproteic Test, we use concentrated nitric acid for the nitration of benzene ring. It's a simple electrophilic aromatic substitution reaction of the benzene ring, and this test can be used for amino acids with benzene rings. With So with tyrosine, for example, tyrosine is the product here. You can look; it looks like yellow, and with tyrosine is a simple molecule. It's an amino acid, alpha amino acid. So there is an acid group at the alpha carbon, you have an amine group, and then there is a CH3 group, so it's like an alanine. So on alanine, if you add a benzene ring, then you get phenylalanine, and then on phenylalanine, if you add this OH at para position, then you get tyrosine. So this is tyrosine molecule. Sorry, this is tyrosine molecule. And the nitration in the tyrosine will occur, of course, at this ortho position, because this is an electron donating group. So the ortho positions are activated. So you see the nitration occurred at the ortho position. The para position is already occupied. So nitration occurs at the ortho position, and this is the product which is yellowish. Okay, so this is with the tyrosine and nitric acid. So how is this connected with TNT and melanin? So the tyrosine is connected with melanin. So in this way, in the melanin production pathway, you can see there is tyrosine, and there is an enzyme which works on tyrosine to create dopaquinone, and then a non-enzymatic chain reaction to get melanin. So can't go into a lot of detail of it, because I was not much interested to go into the details of this, because there was some interesting question. The question which arose in my mind was something else than the scientific explanation. It was about the reason. But anyways, just trying to get my hands on the scientific explanation, then we can come attack the bigger question. What's the reason? So melanin is connected with tyrosine in this way. So, and TNT, trinitrotoluene, if you can understand, is connected with the toluene, could be reacted with nitric acid, and then you can get trinitrotoluene. So toluene, TNT, in the production of TNT, nitric acid must be involved. So I feel like these women were exposed to nitric acid also. And the melanin has a connection with tyrosine, and as we can see in the xanthoproteic test, the nitric acid and tyrosine can react to give a yellow colored product. So it seems like it's not a complete connection. It's not a very rigid and rigorous scientific explanation for what is happening, what happened with the Canary Girls. But we can work on it. We can work more on it, and we can get to the answers. But that would also be a, like, always be a scientific explanation, right? This is, so you can we can one can explore this explanation into detail if one is interested into that. But let's come to the real question. What's the reason behind the skin and hair turning yellow? What's the reason behind the um, the phenomenon of Canary Girls? What's the reason why this happened? So if you go a little bit deep enough, then you understand that this is war. And then if you wish to go a little bit more into it, then you will have to inevitably ask this question: what's the reason behind war? Is it nationality? Or is it how our society developed? How is it connected with you? This is the question. This is the question which I wish to propagate, which I wish everyone to inquire. How are you connected with a war? Not just the First World War or the Second World War, war in general, or violence in general. Thank you very much.